Well, hello everyone, Experience Share again, bringing you another Pokemon Online match. This time it's going to be an underused match I had stocked up from a long time ago, back when Sand and Deoxys Defense were still allowed in the underused tier. This was a hell of a match, and it was against the Zeminator. I believe at that time he was number 1 on the PO ladder. So yeah, team preview. The team I'm using was composed of Choice Specs Kingdra, Choice Scarf Crocodile, Swords Dance Cobalion, a standard Stallbreaker Mew, Spikes Roserade, and then a Gligar. And he was using Hippopotas, Stoutland, Gligar, Xatu, Empoleon, and Deoxys Defense. So we see both Sand and Deoxys Defense on his team, which both were banned. Both were usable at that time and now are banned. That's what I meant to say. And this was a good match, so let's just jump right onto it. So he leads off with Deoxys Defense, and I was actually predicting Hippopotas, whatever. And I went to my Specs Kingdra because I can one-hit KO with Hydro Pump, and that's what I decided to do. He goes for Taunt, and now I can switch out into my Mew, predicting him to go for Recover, and then I can Taunt in the next turn. But knowing this, I'm going to switch into my Crocodile, predicting him to switch out into his Xatu, and I'm going to predict him to predict my Pursuit, so I go straight for the Crunch, and that's one dead Xatu. This is amazing. This was the best start I could ever ask for. So now he sets up his Sandstorm, and I'm going to switch out. I'm going to go into my Kingdra because I can take whatever, and I know he's going to set up his Stealth Rocks. I don't have a Spinner, so I had basically a free switch into my Kingdra, and I'm going to go for a Choice Specs Hydro Pump. While he switches into his Empoleon to take it. He's especially defensive, as you can see by the damage. So yeah, I really just wanted to get a safe hit, not over predict too early in the game. So now I get a safe switch into my Roserade, and he double switches into Stoutland, predicting that. That was a very good play on his behalf. And now I'm going to switch into my Gligar, and he switches to his own, predicting that as well. So he out-predicted me 2 times in a row, and his Gligar has Substitute, and mine doesn't. Mine has Stealth Rocks. For that reason, I'm gonna have to switch out, going to my Roserade to take whatever. And he goes for an Earthquake, and it actually does a lot more than I thought it would. So I'm forced to switch out again, and I'm going to go into my Mew to take any hit because I know I can take it because I'm bulky and I'm defensive. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I take 24 from that Sandstorm, not really from the Sandstorm, the Earthquake, and it's not a really huge deal. Now I'm gonna go and set up a Taunt while he switches into his Empoleon. Now I know he's gonna go for a Scald, and I definitely do not want to get my Mew burn, so I believe I'm gonna switch here. I'm gonna go for a Roost. Now I'm gonna go for a Roost, and he switches out to Stoutland. Now this is the horrible play he made that cost him the game. He stayed in, went for Frustration, and I can get a safe Will-O-Wisp on off his Stoutland, and that pretty much cripples it. And he really played this Stoutland badly, and that's what actually got me the win in the end. Now I'm gonna recover because I know I can take 1 hit, and okay, Roost, it's the same thing, and I get pretty much back to 79%, now 86 with the leftovers. So now I can easily switch out or Taunt, and I'd rather Taunt because I do not want him to set up Spikes. And he decides to switch out into his Empoleon, and now I'm going to switch into my Kingdra to take, rather the Roserade, because I can take either Kingdra or Roserade can take Scalds, but then again he predicts my switch and he goes back into his Stoutland, and I'm forced to switch out again, and I'm gonna go into my Gligar as he predicts that again and goes into his own Gligar. But now, since he knows I have Taunt, I'm going to predict he is Toxic, and I'm gonna go into my Mew. He poisons me, but in the process he gets poisoned as well. This was the play of the match, because once his Gligar is down and his Hippopotas has a little bit of damage on it, I know my Cobalion can get a clean sweep. So I get his Gligar poison. Now I'm going to get back to full HP with the Roost. I'm going to get hit by Sandstorm and Toxic damage, and now I'm going to switch out into my Kingdra because Roserade cannot take a Scald after this turn at least. I cannot take a Scald after Stealth Rocks damage and Sandstorm damage, I believe, from the point I was at. So I'm taking way too much damage from poison, so I'm forced to switch out. I'm going to go to my Kingdra because it's not going to be that useful in this match, seeing that he still has his Empoleon and a good amount of health. He does get the burn, does not really matter. I just really don't need Kingdra anymore, so I'm going to go for a double switch into my Rose Raid, predicting him to go for Protect to stall out a little bit more time, and that's exactly what happens. I get a free switch into Rose Raid, and now I can easily get a rest off. Had he gone for Scald there, my Rose Raid would have been dead, and things would have gone way on the wrong foot. So I do get a rest off. I'm still asleep, and he probably thinks I'm gonna switch, so I'm gonna stay in, burn one turn of sleep as he scalds, predicting my switch, trying to get a burn on anything. And now he knows I'm going to stay in and try to wake up, so he's gonna have to switch out, and he goes into his Deoxys defense. As I stay in, this is my last turn of sleep, and I know I'm gonna wake up the next turn, and I can get a Sludge Bomb off on this Deoxys and probably get a poison. He goes for spikes. I think he gets up his first layer here, and I'm gonna go for a Sludge Bomb, trying to get a poison, but unluckily it does not happen. So I think in this turn he's gonna take the opportunity to recover or taunt. I'm gonna go into my Cobalion, and he is going to taunt me. Yes, I had a free switch either way because the only offensive move he might have is Nightshade or Seismic Toss, and I'm not really that troubled by it. So I go for a next Scissor, just gauging damage at that point, but he switches to his Hippopotas, and now I'm going to go back into my Rose Raid because I know I can take one hit. And he goes for an Earthquake. I take that at 36 HP, and I can live with Sandstorm damage. And now I'm going to predict his switch and go for a Giga Drain on the Stoutland because I really needed HP at that point, and I know Stoutland would die anyway from the burn if Giga Drain would fail to knock him out. So that's exactly what happens. His Stoutland pretty much did nothing in this match. Now he sends in his Deoxys defense again, and he's gonna go for one layer of spikes, I believe, as I switch into my Crocodile. Okay, no, he goes for Recover, that's right. At this point, he's free to scout whatever move I lock myself into because he knows he can take a crunch. So I go for it, and he decides to Recover up. It was a safe play overall because he knew he could take it. And seeing at that damage, min-max variations could strike in and I could take it out, so I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna go for another crunch. But he makes a smart move, switches out to Hippopotas because it can take hits easily. But as you can see, he's left at 53% of health. That is actually extremely good for me. I don't know if he has Slack Off or not, but at this point really does not matter. So Rose Raid comes out. I'm going to predict his switch and get a free layer of spikes up because I need that layer of spikes in order to take out Hippopotas once it comes in and takes Stealth Rocks damage and spikes damage. It was way more important than getting Giga Drain off because I would die to a Nightshade anyway from this Deoxys. So it was overall the better play in the long run. He takes me out there. It's 4 versus 4, but now I have a clean sweep with my Cobalion, as you guys will see. So I know he's gonna switch. I'm gonna get a free Swords Dance up, and at this point Gligar is going to take toxic damage, and I know for a fact I can take it out from this range. My Stone Edge misses, but his Earthquake does 43%, and after leftovers I knew I could even take one more even if Stone Edge missed. But luckily I hit my second one, I take out the Gligar. So he has 3 Pokemon left. He has his Hippopotas, he has his Deoxys Defense and Empoleon. So at this point, after the Stealth Rocks and Spikes damage, I know for a fact my +2 Close Combat is gonna take out this Hippopotas, and now I can either go for X Scissor or Close Combat to clean up his Empoleon and his Deoxys. So he sends in Deoxys first. I'm gonna go for an X Scissor. He pretty much stalls a little bit of time right now. He decides to switch, predict my X Scissor. Really no point on doing that, honestly. I mean, he does have Protect on his Empoleon, but come on, it's not like he's gonna hit 8 Protects in a row. So I go straight for a Close Combat, no need to over-predict. His Deoxys defense is gonna get taken out after Stealth Rocks and Spikes damage. So now he has left is his Empoleon. And he's gonna Protect to stall a little bit. I really don't know why he kept doing that, but I guess he was kind of pissed off for losing. That's my bet. But yeah, he's gonna Protect, and in the next turn I'm going to go for a Close Combat and kill it off. So even though the score was kind of in my favor, I mean 4-0, this was still a very intense and close match. What I think was huge was getting that poison off on that Gligar, and also the fact that his Stoutland was not able to do anything in this match because he misplayed Stoutland very badly. So I hope you guys enjoyed this battle. I have a little bit more stocked up battles, not only in the underused tier, so I might upload those old battles for a little while now because I'm pretty sure they are somewhat decent, and I'd rather just do them right now and then save the newer games for a little bit later on. Oh my god, can I talk? So yeah, this is the battle. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and I'm out, guys. Peace.